Hi everyone, it's Tanny Games here and welcome back to my channel. So I'm just here with the video I spoke about a little while ago about my thoughts and feelings on some of the reactions to the recent Disney Dreamlight Valley news and things like that. Okay, let's get started. I'm a bit nervous to do this, I don't know why. I really feel for a lot of people. There were a lot of people that were waiting for free to play. I even had conversations with my sisters about them playing when it goes free to play. I'm sure other people are in a similar boat about that. I know people that were going to wait till it's free to play. I know people that were going to wait and then have ended up buying it anyway. So I know those people exist. I know they're out there. And I know a lot of them are probably feeling very gutted right now, especially considering at the moment there is no confirmation, and based on what Gameloft have said in the past, that a lot of the events that have gone on so far are not going to repeat, like in terms of Star Path rewards and stuff like that. So a lot of people have missed out on those things on the promise that there was going to be free to play. So I really do feel for them. And in this day and age, I know it's very easy to just say, oh, well, if they really wanted those items, they should have just bought them and things like that. They should have just bought the game sooner, I know it's very easy to say that, but in this day and age, there's, a cost of living crisis and everything like that. I admit, I live in Germany right now. I don't know a lot of information on the politics in Germany, at least. It's just not something that I'm aware of, but I can speak to my own experience in the UK. Sorry, compose myself a bit more. I remember being on the brink of homelessness at one point, despite having a full-time job and things like that. I'm aware of how much of a struggle that can be, and I was struggling 5 odd years ago or so, and with how things have gone on in the UK and things have progressed, it's only gotten worse. And I don't want to go into the politics side too much. Obviously, I have a lot of strong feelings about that, but it's not my place to discuss politics here, at least when I'm doing this video about Dreamlight Valley. But my point is, I understand a lot of people maybe not being able to enjoy games and things like that, or pay for them. And when you're told something's going to be free to play, it might be something that really gets your hopes up, something that you really look forward to. Obviously, I'm not expecting any game developer necessarily to provide, they're not entitled to have to provide things free for people. But obviously, when you maybe don't have access to things like that in life, it can be quite a joyous time to think that you're going to have something that you can enjoy, especially when it comes to Disney. Because anyone who's a Disney fan are aware of how expensive it is to be a Disney fan. So yeah, I feel for those people. I think that's the one thing I want to say. And then to be told it's not going free to play and have an announcement of a paid expansion at the same time, I think is really a slap in the face to those people. I've bought this game. I've paid for it. I'm in a position where I can pay for it. I can afford it. I'm in a position where I can pay and afford for the DLC, and I probably will. I'm not going to lie. I'm most likely going to do it. But I do feel for those that aren't in that position. I recognise my privilege there to be able to do that. The thing that bugs me through this all is the conversations from some content creators who I feel don't realise that they're privileged in that aspect, and stuff like that. And sometimes we need to remember that our situations aren't everyone's situations kind of thing, and just offer kindness to people who might not have access to those things. So that's just my only thoughts in regards to that. Basically, we just need to be a lot kinder, and I've seen a lot of nastiness, to be honest, a lot of mean comments and stuff like that, and it's really bothered me. I don't like that I've seen content creators basically say, oh, don't post negative comments on, you know, Twitter threads or whatever it may be, when people are happy and excited about these updates and these things, which I think is really awful, to be kind of saying, oh, silence, we don't allow negative opinions, I don't want to see negative opinions. I've seen content creators say, oh, this discussion's done now, get over it kind of thing, which I think is a really horrible attitude to have. I mean, the conversation isn't done, and I don't think it's going to be done till at least Wednesday, when we get a few more answers on things. And I'm hoping we get answers. There's every chance they're not going to give us answers. They're going to overlook a lot of stuff. There's every chance that's going to be the case. But I think people are entitled to express their concerns, express their dissatisfaction and things like that. I've seen content creators say, oh, if you're saying you're going to leave this community, if you're saying you're going to quit the game, then stop posting. Get out of the community, basically. You know, don't post. Which I think is wrong, because I think a lot of people, especially when they make comments like that, they're making comments to express their dissatisfaction in the hopes that Gameloft do something about it. Compromise and things like that. You know, things like that. Like, I think people, I know there's this famous saying like, oh, it's not an airport, you don't need to announce your departure and things like that. You can maybe have that attitude, but I just think a lot of people are speaking out, and when they're speaking out about that, they're saying it because they want Gameloft to know, because they want Gameloft to do better. They want Gameloft to maybe compromise or do something. Like, I guess they've made the decision it's not free to play, and that is what it is. But, you know, maybe just change their attitudes going forward, or something, you know. Because if we just pretend we're all happy about this when a lot of people aren't, Gameloft are never going to get that message. They're never going to know, kind of thing. So I really think that's important in that aspect, and I think people should be allowed to vent and air their frustrations. I've seen people basically treating people like kids, or saying that people are being childish in their behaviour for being upset about this, which I think is an awful thing to do. Like, okay, go you have the money, you know, you can do this sort of stuff, but not everyone's in the same position as you, and things like that. I also kind of want to, yeah, just, it's bothered me a lot. As someone who's come from poverty and stuff like that, like, I know the struggle. And yeah, you could argue that maybe it's entitlement to feel like you should have access to some sort of game or whatever, but it's just more the fact of a broken kind of promise, and something that they've been talking about this year as well. They've kept this whole idea of free to play really, really going, and especially like everyone was kind of expecting it to go free to play this year and things like that, and stuff. So it's that, and like being told that, oh no, you can't feel lied to, it's not a lie, it's not a lie. Like, if that's how people feel, that they've been lied to because of this 180 on this decision, then I think they're entitled to that feeling. To me, it does feel like being lied to. I get that businesses can change decisions, they can go back and stuff like that, but it doesn't detract away from the fact that it feels like a lie, especially if it's something they've been going on about this year, which they have. And personally, I think this is a decision that will have been in the works or been discussed for a while. There's no doubt about that. I think if you think they randomly decided that 5 days ago they weren't going to go free to play, then I think that's a bit naive thinking, personally. I don't like this, basically this entitled attitude that people have had. For me, the biggest thing is that Gameloft have made a decision. I think they've announced it in a poor way. I think if they were, as they have done, made the decision not to go free to play at the moment, this should have been its own announcement. No mention of future DLCs and stuff like that. I think it should have been its own thing so people could adjust to the idea, and stuff like that. And maybe given us a bit more of a buffer. Because realistically, they've given us, 1 month? 1 month to push ourselves into a decision. There's a lot of people around the world that live on monthly pay packets, and this doesn't give them a lot of flexibility in being able to get those funds together and things like that, and stuff. I really think they should have gave it its own announcement so people had time to adjust and understand. But to be told that, and then also told there's an expansion on top, for a lot of people, it doesn't feel like it's just a £30 price that they're going to have to pay. It's now $60, $70 or whatever, which is a massive difference. And we don't know a lot about this expansion pass. I'm hoping that it's going to be something that people can buy at any point. But obviously, we don't know that. So people are natural. I think it's natural for people to feel worried when they've got questions and stuff like that. Is this going to be available for a long time? Can we buy it? And blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that. And I think Gameloft's decision to kind of not go more in depth, they should expect the backlash kind of thing. If you make an announcement and it's not fully, talked about or whatever, you should expect people to drop questions and things like that. Let's say, in thinking about a more positive situation kind of thing, just to show you as well how it works either side, whether it's bad news or good news. If a game announced that it's going to do a DLC or announces they're going to have an update or something like that, people naturally swarm to the posts and are like, oh my god, what's it going to be about? What's this? And things like that. Is it going to cost? Is it not going to cost? People have questions, and they don't always have to be bad questions, I think of Stardew Valley and the announcement of the new update, is it 1.6 that we're going to be getting soon, and a lot of people are like, oh my god, I'm so excited, what are we going to get? Especially when ConcernedApe did an announcement talking about a new event. People are like, what's this new event? And people are theorizing, getting excited. And it annoys me that people are allowed to question and things like that when it's positive, but when it's negative, they're not allowed to do that. And I think it's really unfair. I don't agree in attacking in a malicious way. I don't agree in death threats or that kind of extreme behaviour. I've not seen it myself. But I'm just saying, obviously there's an extreme side of things, I don't agree with that. But I think people are allowed to be upset, feel lied to. They're allowed to feel like they want to give up this game and other stuff like that. And I just don't like this attitude that some creators are having, where they're saying people are basically being childish in this respect, that the conversation is done, they're not allowed to express those viewpoints, they can't leave posts on Twitter, and other things like that. That just bothers me. Until we get answers, I think people are allowed to question, and people are allowed to be upset by this decision. I think that's the thing, is that we need to let these people have their space where they can vent and they can question and be upset and outraged. I really think, I'm just saying, let's offer people kindness in this space. and allow people to feel frustrated is what I'm trying to get at, basically. What's done is done. They've announced this. We can't change that. But in the meantime, let people feel this way and stuff like that without basically bullying them, silencing them, mocking them. That's what I don't like. I'm sorry that this has come across as quite emotionally charged from me. Because I respect that. I'm a creator in these posts. I should really keep more of a level head, but I really feel, yeah, so I just think content creators do better. Stop mocking, stop bullying, stop belittling people's feelings and emotions. It's not fair. Allow people time to feel their outrage and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not condoning any of these outraged people, any, toxic behaviour on their part in terms of, like, maybe bullying the actual developers and stuff like that. Like, agree, don't, like, that's what I'm saying. Stop bullying. Like, nobody bully. Which is, I guess, a naive thing to say in this day and age when bullies are so prevalent. They exist in life. It's just a reality. And stuff like that, and I know people are always going to be that way. I just think, can we please be a bit more gracious? Allow people their space to vent if they need it. Give us some time to wait till Wednesday, where we hopefully get more answers on stuff. Where we hopefully get more clarity so people can either feel a bit more relieved or whatever it may be, because obviously I don't know what the stream's going to entail, what we're going to get information wise, but I think we should allow people this space to feel concerned, feel outrage, feel upset. Let them have their space to feel that way, and yeah, and then we can move on from it in time and stuff like that. I mean, they announced a lot. They dropped a lot of us that day with the announcement of no free-to-play and an expansion pack. Not only that, but the implication from the Rift in Time that potentially Rapunzel and Eve are going to be locked behind a paywall. I say potentially because I don't fully know the details, but they certainly give an implication of that based on the fact that they're on the cover work for this Rift in Time expansion pass. So it is heavily implied. It might not be the case, like I said, but it's implied. I think it makes sense that people would interpret it in that way. And obviously I understand why people are upset. Not only are these beloved characters, but they're characters that were posted in-game, in trailers beforehand, with no kind of hints that they would be a paid-for character. I mean, you see Eve early on in one of the memories. Rapunzel's been in, like, the early game trailers along with her tower, so it would be understandable that people would come to expect or think that these characters are going to be available to them at, at least the free-to-play level, or at least not locked behind an additional paywall. I say an additional paywall because obviously people are now going to have to buy the game going forward, and then also pay extra potentially to get these characters. Again, reiterating the potentially because we don't fully know yet. So I can understand people feeling misled and lied to. I myself personally wouldn't have expected Rapunzel to potentially be behind a paywall, or Eve, given that they were advertised during the regular game. Like, I know Eve wasn't in the advertisements, but she was in a core memory, and to think that these characters then might not be able to be in our valleys, despite them being advertisers, so obviously it rubs me the wrong way a bit. Yeah, I guess this is kind of just what I wanted to talk about, what I wanted to vent about. Please just be a bit more kinder. That's all I'm asking. And I feel like as content creators, we really are pillars of the community, and we need to do better. You know, we're out there, we're on the social medias, the YouTube platforms, the Twitch platforms. We're really out there at the forefront as being what the community is, what the community's about. And I think when we're not kind and we're putting that out there and we're posting it on social media platforms like Twitter, when we're posting it on YouTube and stuff like that, we're really doing a disservice to our own community by implying that's what we are. We're bullies and stuff, which I don't agree with. I don't feel like... I do personally feel like bullies and stuff like that shouldn't have a platform, but I appreciate that's not how the world works. I appreciate that, but I really think that basically we need to be outstanding members of the community. We really need to be the best of the best and show that this is a community about love, about support, about kindness, about joy and stuff like that, you know. Let's not be mean to our forgotten selves, you know. I say that whilst the forgotten sat next to us, you know, and things like that. Like, didn't we do a whole storyline about depression and things like that, and other things, and about offering kindness and support to people, and then we're not being kind and supportive? Like, did we not listen to the message in the game that we've literally all just played? Yeah, I guess that's my thoughts. Anyway, I'm rambling a bit. Please be kind. Let people vent whilst they need to. Those that really are giving up on the game will give up. They'll move on eventually. And they're within their rights to do that without being mocked and judged. I will continue to create content on this game because I do love it. Yeah, it means a lot to me, this game. I've had a really hard year myself, and this game has offered me a safe space. So I will continue to create content for it for as long as I can, because I do love it. But yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to say. I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys.